sort of summed up my worldview, you know, in some way. Well, no, it didn't really sum up my worldview. I don't really have a worldview. I think the world's a pile of shit. That's not really a worldview, is it? Or is it? Anyway, I wrote a little story once. Hang on. All right. No, okay. If it didn't sum up my worldview, then it summed up my view of detective work and the relation of that detective work to the world at large. Yeah, that's it. Why are you still kneeling down?
I don't know.
It just looks stupid.
Yes.
So, you want to hear my story?
Yes.
Yes, you want to hear my story. You wouldn't say no, would you?
No.
No. Okay. So what's my story called? My story is called The Story of the Little Deaf Boy on the Big Long Railroad Tracks in China. What? What, don't you think that's a good title?
I think it's a very good title, yes.
Tell me what you really think. You have my permission to be entirely truthful, even if it hurts.
Well, I think that's just about the worst title I've ever heard. It's got 2 commas in it, that title. You can't have 2 commas in a title. You can't have 1 comma in a title, really. I think it has a full stop in it, that title. That title's almost insane.
Maybe it's a title that is way ahead of its time.
Oh, yeah, maybe it is. Maybe terrible titles will be way ahead of their time. Maybe that'll be the new thing.
Maybe it will.
I just think it's a terrible title.
All right. We've established that, and I'm taking back your permission to be entirely truthful. And you're lucky you don't get a fucking smack. All right, now, where was I?
Deaf boy, long railroad tracks. Sorry.
Okay. All right, so, once upon a time there was this little deaf boy. Couldn't hear a thing, as is often the case with deaf boys. And let's see, and it's set in China. So he's a Chinese little deaf boy. I don't know why I said it in China. Oh, yes I do. I just like the look of them little Chinese kids, you know? They're funny. Anyway, okay, so there's this Chinese little deaf boy, and he's walking along these railroad tracks, you know? These railroad tracks that stretch for miles and miles and miles. You know, across the plains, across the Chinese plains. I mean, there's no trees, there's no nothing, there's just these fucking plains, right? And he's walking along these railroad tracks, and, maybe he's retarded too. Yeah, because you know, I mean, he's deaf and he's walking on these fucking railroad tracks, and that's fucking dangerous. What if a train comes up behind him? He ain't gonna hear it. He's gonna get squashed. So yeah, he's retarded. Okay, so once upon a time, there was this retarded Chinese little deaf boy walking along the big long railroad tracks, and guess what? A big fucking train comes up behind him, right? But because the tracks are so long, because the train is so far away, it ain't gonna hit it, you know, for ages, but it is gonna hit it, right? Now, because the train is going so fast, even if the driver spotted it, he'd never be able to brake in time. I mean, this kid is really hard to see, you know? When he's one of those cute little Chinesey kids, you know? They usually got the spiky up hair. Yeah, like that. Right. So, the driver probably is not even going to see him, but the kid is seen. You know who he's seen by? Well, just about a mile up the railroad tracks in the direction the kid is heading, there's his tower. Maybe 100 feet high, and at the top of this tower lives this strange old man. You know, strange old Chinese man. You know, those long Chinesey mustaches and the squinty eyes. You know? The funny little hat. Anyway. Right, so, some people thought he was wise, but some people thought he was, you know, a bit creepy, because he lives at the top of this big fucking tower, right? So, people hadn't seen him for many, many years. They didn't know if he was alive or if he was dead. Well, obviously he's alive, or he wouldn't be in the story. So he's up there, he's doing his mathematical computations, he's doing various designs and drawings, and various inventions of, like, you know, things that haven't been invented yet, you know? And there's a million pieces of paper all over the walls, and scattered all about the room, and all these things. This is his life. I mean, the world is beneath him. You know, these designs and computations, they're all he cares about. So, the old man, he looks out his little arched window, and he sees a deaf boy walking on the railroad tracks. And he also sees a train about 2 miles, maybe 3 miles behind him, roaring up, right? Well, the old man assesses the situation quite correctly. There is a little deaf boy walking on the railroad tracks. That little deaf boy is not going to hear that train coming. That little deaf boy is going to get squashed to bits. So,
Hang on. How did the old man know the little boy was deaf?
huh?
How did he know the little boy was deaf?
I did. He saw his hearing aid.
Oh.
Well, that one out of bag, huh? Anyway, so, and he sees a little boy walking on the railroad tracks. He sees the train thundering up behind him. And, well, he doesn't run down and try to save him or anything like that like a normal person would because he's close enough if he wanted to. What does he do? He starts a little calculation on a piece of paper. Calculation to figure out exactly at what point that train is going to smash into that little boy. Calculation based, I suppose, on the train speed, the length of the railroad tracks, the speed at which the little boy's legs are going at, just to find out when it's going to plow right into him. Anyway, the little boy, he's oblivious to all this. He just keeps walking on the tracks, and the train keeps thundering up behind him, getting closer and closer, right? And the little boy is about 30 yards away from the foot of the tower. With the old man, he finishes his calculation, right? He started this calculation, he finishes it, and he finds that that train is going to smash into that little deaf boy exactly 10 yards from the foot of the tower. 10 yards from the foot of the tower! So, the old man, he ho-hums a bit. He's not paying much interest in it. He goes, and he takes his calculation, and he folds it into a paper airplane. And he tosses the paper airplane out the window. And he goes back to his work without another thought for the poor little deaf boy. 11 yards from the foot of the tower, the deaf boy leaps on the railroad tracks to catch the paper airplane. The train thunders by behind him.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's better than all your stories put together. 101 ways to skewer a fucking 5-year-old?
It's not better than all my stories put together, but it is pretty
Hang
good.
on. I have rescinded your permission to give me shit, haven't I? My story was better than all your stories.
All right, fine. It was better than all my stories. And I thank you for keeping my lesser stories safe in their case file. But how does it sum up your world view anyway, or your view of police work or whatever?
What, didn't you get that? All right, see? Okay. The old wise man, see? He represents me, see? He's up there in the tower doing his calculations all day. He doesn't have much affinity with his fellow man. The little deaf boy comes along. He represents my fellow man, see? He's oblivious to everything. Doesn't even know there's a fucking train coming. But due to the calculations, my brilliant calculations, and due to me throwing that paper airplane at that very moment, I shall save that little deaf boy from that train. I shall save my fellow man from those criminals. And I won't even get any thanks for it. I mean, the little deaf boy didn't thank the old man, did he? No, he just played with his fucking airplane. But that's okay. It's all right, I don't need thanks. All I need to know is that due to me toiling away with my detective work, I shall save that little boy from that train. Unless it's like your case, where I have to track down the train driver who's already plowed straight through the poor little fucker, then reversed all over his friends.
So you're saying that the old man, he meant for the little boy to catch the airplane?
Yeah.
Oh.
What, didn't you get that?
No, I thought maybe you just, caught it like it was an accident.
No. The old man threw the paper airplane because he wanted to save the little deaf boy.
But didn't he turn away like he didn't care?
No. He's really good at making paper airplanes. He's really good at everything. He turned away because, he's so good at making paper airplanes, he didn't even need to look at where it's gone. On top of the fact he knows, little retarded boy, they love paper airplanes, don't they? He's bound to jump up and catch it. Wasn't that clear?
I think it could have been a little more clear. I could show you how you...
Hang on. I'm not taking any fucking literary
I
advice
was
from
just
you.
trying to...
I think you could have made it more clear whether the little girl you butchered 3 days ago was alive or fucking dead and is stuck her in the ground. I think you could have made that more clear. And can I make it more clear that I'm going to get really angry in a minute? And I'm going to set fire to your stories regardless of the promises we made. Could I make that more clear?
Topolsky, I thought your story was really good. I did.
My story was better than all your stories.
It was better than all my stories.
And it was clear that the old man wanted to save the little deaf boy.
That was completely clear.
You only didn't like it because little deaf boy didn't die at the fucking end.
No. I did like your story, Topolsky. I did, and that's got nothing to do with anything. You burning my stories or anything. I thought your story was good, Topolsky. I really did. I would have been proud to have written myself. I would.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't going to burn it anyway. I mean, you know, I'm a man of my word. Person keeps their word, I keep my word.
And I respect that. And I know you don't care if I respect that or not, but I do. I respect that.
Well, I respect that you respect that. No, aren't we all cozy? Huh? It's almost a shame I could shoot you in the head for 20 minutes. Well, no, you know, I mean, some of your stories are very good too. I did like some.
Yeah, which ones?
Well, there was something about the pillow man that stayed with me. There was something gentle about it, you know? That, well, the idea that if a child died alone, you know, through some accident, he wasn't really alone. You know, there was this kind, soft person to hold his hand or whatnot. And that it was the child's choice. Made it somewhat reassuring somehow, you know? It wasn't just a stupid waste.
Did you lose a child?
You know, unlike old Ariel, I don't go into those sort of things with the condemned. Son drowned. Fishing on his own. It was silly.
Where do we go from here?
Well, first we wait to get word back about the mute girl. Then, we put this hood over your head. Take you to the room next door, shoot you through the head. Wait a minute, is that right? No. We take you to the room next door, then we put the hood on you, then we shoot you through the head. Yeah, you know, if we put the hood on you, try to take you to the room next door, you might bump into something, you hurt yourself.
Why in the room next door? Why not here?
Oh, room next door, it's easier to mop up.
Do you do it just like out of the blue? Like out of the blue, or do you give me a minute to say a prayer or something?
Well, first I sang a song about a little pony. Then Ariel, he pulls out his hedgehog, you know, the execution hedgehog. And depending on the size of the hedgehog, well, you've got either 13 to 27 seconds, you know. If I'm going to do it out of the blue, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to do it out of the fucking blue, am I? Jesus! You know, for a genius writer / psycho killer, you're a bit fucking thick. Now, for when the hood goes on, you've got about 10 seconds. So, you know, keep the laughing chance to a minimum.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just wanted a moment to be able to think a few thoughts for my brother, you know?
A few thoughts for your brother. But not for the kid you murdered, but for your brother.
No, not for the kids that I murdered, but for my brother, yes.
Huh. Have they found her?
What the hell is the matter with you? Exactly what the hell is the matter with you?
Ariel. Have they found her?
Yes, they found her.
She was dead, right?
No.
What? Is she alive?
They found her down there by the wishing well in a little playhouse there. She had 3 little piglets with her. She had plenty of food and water. So did the piglets, in fact. She seems quite happy about it all. Don't you, Maria? You happy? I'll ask him. She says yes, she is quite happy, but can she keep the piglets? I said I'd ask you. I said I'd ask you about the piglets.
What? Oh, yeah, she can keep the piglets.
Yes. Let's get you cleaned up first and get you your mommy and daddy. They've been worried about you. They found a big pot of green paint down there with her, you know, that kind of glow-in-the-dark paint you have in railway tunnels. So plenty of prints if we need them. And they found the skeletons of the parents just where he said, by the wishing well. So, he confesses to the murder of 2 people we knew nothing about, and he confesses to the murder of a girl who wasn't actually murdered.
What?
Why? You're asking me why?
Yes, I am.
Uh-huh. Well, Topolsky, you know what? You're the #1. You fucking figure it out.
I will have no more insubordination from you today, Ariel.
Yes, you will.
In which case, you're on report to the chief, as of now.
Yeah, you don't seem very happy that the little girl's still alive. Even this fuckstick seems happy that the little girl's still alive. You just seem upset he's fucked up your paperwork.
Obviously, the little girl was painted green and put with the piglets in order to act
To
out.
act out the little green pig story. Brilliant, Topolsky. You must have got that from the green paint and the piglets. The question is why? Why didn't he kill her too, and why did he say he did?
I am reading through the story to see if there are any clues.
We could just ask him.
I'm reading through it, I said.
Can you fill us in on why the mute girl's still alive?
No. No, I can't. But I'm glad she is. I'm glad she is.
I believe you're glad she is. I believe you're glad she is. I believe you're gladder she is than he fucking is. Now I will ask you another question based on a little hunch I've just got. Because I'm getting hunches now too. I think Mr. Topolsky's fucking detective prowess is rubbing off on me. Now that little Jew boy whose toes you cut off and let bleed to death. What color was his hair?
What?
What color was his hair?
It was brownie, black. It was brownie black sort of color.
It was a brownie black sort of color. Pretty good. Considering he was a little Jew boy, it was a brownie black sort of color. Pretty good. It's a shame his mom was fucking Irish and her son closely resembled a red fucking setter. Now, you want some questions about the girl on the heath?
No.
No, because you didn't kill either of those 2 children, did you?
No.
You never saw those children, did you?
No.
Did you tell your brother to kill them?
I didn't hear about any of this until today.
And did he kill your parents also?
I killed my parents.
The only killing we can definitely pin on you is the killing of your brother. In light of the extenuating circumstances, I doubt it highly that you would be executed for it. So, I would think very carefully before admitting to the killing of
I killed my parents. I killed my parents.
I believe you did. But, you didn't kill any children, did you?
No.
Your witness, Topolsky.
Very good work, Ariel.
Thank you, Topolsky.
You're welcome. Oh, and by the way, I was happy the little girl was still alive. She's trying to keep my true emotions not coming out at work.
Oh, I see.
You see? Instead of my own personal curiosity, before we execute you for the other murders, why did you confess to killing the children, Mr. Terry?
You had me for killing Michael. I figured when you found the mute girl's body, you'd have me for killing my parents too. I thought if I tied myself into all of it like you wanted me to, that I'd be able to save my stories, you know? And at least I'd have that. At least I'd have that, right?
Well, that's a shame then, isn't it?
What's a shame?
Well, our saving your stories is based on you confessing truthfully is the whole of this sorry business. And evidently, from you saying you didn't kill those other 2 kids, and evidently from all the green fucking paint tricks all over my fucking floor, well, obviously your confession wasn't completely truthful. And if your confession wasn't completely truthful, well then, the story's fucking burned.
No, you can't be serious.
Put the hood on. I'm trying to get a fire started.
Ariel, please.
Ariel! Did we not, as honorable men, promise not to burn his stories if he gave a truthful confession?
Ah, Jesus, Topolsky.
Is it true, yes or no, that we promised not to burn his stories if he gave a truthful confession?
Yes, it is true.
But did he confess to killing a Jew boy he didn't kill?
Yes, he did.
And did he confess to killing a little girl with razor blades he also didn't kill?
Yes, he did.
And did he confess to killing that irritating Greek kid who isn't even fucking dead?
Yes, he did confess to it.
Then, are we not within our rights as honorable men to burn all of Mr. Couturian's work?
Ariel!
Put the hood on!
We are within our rights.
We are within our rights. So, we've got about 400 stories here. Now, if we round up those few copies of the Libertad he had a story in, well, that'll be his whole life's work, right? That'll be his whole life's work. Doesn't add up too much, does it? Should I put some lighter fuel on the stories, or is that a bit dangerous? I'm afraid I might singe myself.
Ariel, please!
Ariel.
Ariel!
I know all this isn't your fault. I know you didn't kill any children. And I know you didn't want to kill your brother. And I know you killed your parents for all the right reasons. And I'm sorry for you. I'm really sorry for you. And I've never said that to anyone in custody before. But at the end of the day, I never liked your stories in the first fucking place, you know? You better put the hood on.
I thought you took me on the other room and you do it in there.
Nah, we shoot you in here. I was just fucking around.
Still gonna give you 10 seconds or you just fucking around then too?
We'll give you 10 seconds.
Yeah, we'll give you 10 seconds. I'm kidding. So, just kneel down right over here somewhere so you don't splash.
I was a good writer. It was all I ever wanted to be. And I was.
Was being the operative word.
Yeah, was being the operative word.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Oh, what'd you go and do that for?
What I go and do what for?
You said you'd give him 10. That wasn't very nice.
Ariel, what is nice about shooting a man on his knees with a bag over his head?
Even so.
You know, I got enough whining out of you today. We've solved the case, haven't we? I mean, whichever way you look at it, we've solved the case.
I suppose.
That's all the more candy for you when you're 70, huh? So, get the paperwork finished, get this room cleaned up, get those stories burned. I gotta go, talk to the little mute kid's parents, warn them about the piglets.